So, tell us a little bit about the car. What's Lucy Bagley's background?
Well, Lucy was a professional actress until she decided quite sensibly that she had to prioritise, and she started a family and focused on them. Similarly with Jane Francis, the director, she was also an actress actually, but she also directed professionally, then had a family and paused. They both moved into different areas. Jane, interestingly, from Knock Knock's point of view, is a counsellor involved in excuse me, psychology. So she's very familiar with the condition, which is enormously helpful. And Jane is an acupuncturist now, a very successful one. But again, although they've moved on to different things, they have kept a hand in the acting and directing. And now we've all decided to come together, and we're off again on a new little adventure. And Philip hasn't acted before. He has done radio in the past, but it's been quite new for him. But he was an absolute revelation. And anyone who's seen the show will know what I mean. He's astonishing. He's really, really good. And so you've got the two extremely good performers and some rather deft direction.
And just coming briefly back to the character, I know you said you actually researched this condition, which we now know to be genuine. Have you ever actually spoken to somebody who's got this condition?
Well, funny enough, yes, but I didn't know I had been. So the answer, truthfully, is no, because I didn't know. But I have spoken to someone subsequently who informed me that they did. So, but I've spoken to many people who've diagnosed and worked with them and, from the health point of view.
So out of interest, is your personal experience as a child with that dreadful scenario with the pig? Do you think at that stage, perhaps for a few days, you were sort of going towards that condition?
I don't know. Yes, I asked one of the counsellors about that when I was researching, and probably not. But you wouldn't be going a million miles away. The fact that I can't remember, we all have experiences in life when you look back and you don't remember them if it's traumatic. It could be a car crash, could be something emotional. But you don't remember it particularly well, and that is the beginning of dissociation. So yes, you're right that your brain is starting to head that way. But no, I certainly can't claim, well, not to my knowledge anyway. So,
well, I mean, did you talk about it with your parents? After?
Yes, yeah. But as I said, according to them, I couldn't speak for a day and a half. I remember my mum vividly getting, my mum do this "I'm cross with you" routine, and they're not, because she was trying to get me to speak. And I can remember sitting there wanting to speak and not being able to speak because I didn't know how to say what it is I was trying, what I needed to say. And when I did eventually, they were very supportive and very lovely, but I got the oh well, it's it's the way life is. And
How old were you then, by the way?
I was 7 years old.
No, I know this play's been shown in various places. Are you actually on tour with it at the moment?
Yes, it's a modest tour. We did we started off, as you said, last year in Dover. Then we did a 5-day run in London. Now we're doing the Esther here. After here, we're going to Kettering for a couple of runs, and then it's the Gulbenkian next spring. And there's a couple of others in the pipeline, which I can't say because they're not confirmed yet. But yeah. So.
And in your head, have you got other plays planned in your mind?
Yes, I have. There's another one which I've just started, funnily enough. So yeah, completely different. But yeah.
And how do when you're thinking about it's something that always fascinates me because I've monologue. I haven't stretched myself to a play yet. For you, what comes first? The concept of the story, or what? Or is it? Or you just get inspired, but as you were with this one, by a specific incident?
I think it's always character driven. So it can be either someone you know or you met or you've recognised in some way, shape, and once that is there, that needles you, and you sort of think, well, imagine if that person did this, or imagine if that person did that, or imagine if that person met another character who I'm fascinated by, and that's the start of it. Really, I don't really know to start with where things head, but then when you sit down with your little pen and paper, then you have a little think and it comes together. But
ambiguous question, but when do you think you'll get the next one?
Well, I would hope, and probably at the end of next year, I'd guess.
Because I mean, one of the many things I love about doing radio interviews is all the interesting people you meet,
yes,
and you go. I mean, your story, for example, is fascinating, and there's so many fascinating stories out there. And for anybody who enjoys writing, as you rightly say, it's the characters you meet, the personalities and people probably take you off into a direction you never thought you'd go in before.
No, and we're all the same. Every single person, you've got characters in your mind. People inspire, amuse, irritate, and they're the people that are worth considering.
Yeah, well, usually the irritating ones are quite good for inspiration. Well, there you are. You've set the scene rather well. It's there's a lot of, as I say, initially it sounds there's going to be a bit of ambiguity and a bit of teasing to start the thing off, and a few red herrings on the way.
Yeah.
So that sounds very interesting. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for your time, Floyd. And before you go, I'll just reiterate to the listeners when and what's happening. Oh, by the way, before I do go that, where does the title Knock Knock come from?
Very good. 2 reasons. One is knock knock, who's there?
Yeah.
So because of the nature of DID, it works there. But also the in a slaughterhouse, the chap who stuns the animal is called the knock knock man. So knock knock works on both levels.
That knock knock, is it when you get them to
stun? It's when you stun.
Yeah, but they raise that to make them raise their head, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we needn't go further, especially for vegetarians out there. Floyd, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
it's been very interesting. Well, there you have it, folks. So, something a little bit different for you to come and see. So that's at the Astor Theatre. That's Knock Knock, and that's Friday the 5th of May. The doors are at 7:30 p.m. and the show is at 8 p.m. Once again, the box office is 01304 212 009, or you go on the internet www.theastor.org. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing it because I want the questions answered now. I've been, how can we say, teased a little bit as far as that's concerned, so I think it's going to be a very interesting show. So you heard it here first. Be there or be square, and thanks for listening.